Macho Man Randy Savage. Got the biography from A&E this week, the third in the series. First was Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course. Mass praise. Then we had the follow-up for Rowdy Roddy Piper. Also critically acclaimed, is it not? Widely praised. Then we get to the third one in the series, the Macho Man Randy Savage. And look, man, before I even get into it, I grew up in the 80s watching professional wrestling. That was my thing when I was a kid. That was my era when I was a kid. So I grew up on the Macho Man Randy Savage and the Macho King Randy Savage. I started watching wrestling around the time that the Mega Powers exploded and on through Randy Savage winning the world title from Ric Flair at WrestleMania 8, being retired by the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7, all his classic moments, the Snake, Jake the Snake Roberts, that whole feud, everything in that era was just my childhood. And Randy Savage was always one of my favorites. Far and above a Hulk Hogan. I was Ultimate Warrior 1, Randy Savage 2. And that was it until Shawn Michaels turned heel and turned into the sexy boy. Then I started kind of feeling him. Undertaker was on that list, third or fourth. I mean, I had favorites, but Macho Man, tippy top of that list, just under the Warrior. In this documentary, I was so excited to watch it, and it was good. It was very good. The way that they put it together, the clips that they had, the stories that they told, it was all interesting to watch. But what did it accomplish? A lot of people are out there saying that this was a hit piece on Macho Man. We're going to break all that down here because there's a lot going on with this whole situation. This was the first of the three documentaries that really went deep into the personal life of the wrestler. The first one touched just a tiny bit on how Austin wasn't really around for his kids and that sort of thing. Roddy Piper touches on some of the drug use and then when he went a little crazy there at the end for a little while. But Macho's documentary really goes in deep. Like, it spends like a half hour or more on just the shitty parts of his life, you know? Oh, the shit with Liz, and he was controlling and locked her in a room and probably was abusive and all that other shit, and he had cameras spying on her and her family and whatever the fuck else. Then it gets into Gorgeous George, who, oh my God, by the way, I don't know how I missed this as a kid. I think I just thought of her as another fucking blonde with tits, like every other girl that was on wrestling TV back then. But Gorgeous George is a little bit more special than most of them. All right, she's fine as fuck. She reminds me of somebody I grew up with in high school and shit like that. And she just, the way she talks, the way she acts, and her face a little bit, like, that's my kind of chick right there. I would have been give me like 10 years older than I was at the time, and I probably would have been all about the Gorgeous George. To this day, I mean, she looks a little chubby and shit. I'd still fucking just marry that girl. Anyway, besides the point. They didn't need to spend a half hour talking about how scared she was of him and fucking her kids on the thing talking about stuff and her sister. And why did it turn into the Gorgeous George and Macho Man story for like a half hour of this fucking thing? Did any of the other documentaries do that? Did Stone Cold's fucking episode turn into the Stone Cold and Deborah McMichael story? Not even once. Not even a little bit. Not even a taste of it. Did the fucking Roddy Piper story talk about when Roddy Piper and Ric Flair went on wife swap and swapped wives? Did it? It did not. So why is the Macho Man story going into all Macho Man's dirt? Well, you could say there's different directors. It's not made by the same person. So maybe whoever made this one had a different take on how to do this fucking thing than the other people. Maybe. It's on the table. I'm not ruling it out. This is a co-produced documentary with WWE. We're all well aware as internet fans that as wrestling fans that there's long-standing mysterious heat between Macho Man Randy Savage and the WWE. Here you have all through the 80s, and the documentary told this story beautifully. This is the one thing that they did nail, is that all through the 80s, people always talk about how Hulk Hogan was the man in WWE. There was Hulk Hogan, and then there was everybody else. That's not quite true, all right? 8 out of 10 people that you ask if they've ever heard of Hulk Hogan, grandmas, fucking little kids, anybody, because he's a household name. 8 out of 10 of the people that know Hulk Hogan will also know Macho Man Randy Savage, because the Macho Man was a fucking megastar back then. There were mega stars, not just mega powers. They were mega stars. The Macho Man was no exception to that. The Macho Man was a fucking star in WWE. He was the top of the top. He was the tippy top. Think about it. He's had a fucking reign as Intercontinental Champion, had one of the greatest matches of all time, whether it was paint by numbers or not. Had a great fucking match. After that match, he went straight to the top of the card. Fucking main event of WrestleMania 4. Won the title tournament there. Where was the title talk? This documentary completely left out both of Randy Savage's world title reigns in the WWF. Both of them were fucking historic. The first time, I mean, we haven't had a champion outside of Hulk in years and years and years. And that was in an era where even before Hulk, it was even more rare to have a different champion. You know, you're looking at 10, 12 years with Bruno and another 7 with Backlund, I think. And then fucking Hulk had it, had a fucking huge run with it. Savage got the strap. Huge. Huge for him to win WrestleMania. Of course, Hogan had to be out there with him. But of course, it was huge that he was the man that was standing high at the end of the night with the championship over his head. They never touched on it. What about his match with Ric Flair? That fucking amazing world title match. Flair gets color, the fucking story with Liz. They could have easily got a good 5 minutes out of that, out of the documentary, could they not? Talk about the fucking Liz story with the pictures and the Mr. Perfect and all of that. Come on now. The retirement match. You spent just a pinch of time. They covered it for like a minute and moved right on. That retirement match with the Ultimate Warrior. All of this shit was just brushed over or completely ignored in favor of drama. Why do we got to get into the drama? What's the agenda? You got to look at it like that. Because you're comparing it now to other stories. Even if this stood by itself, people would question it. But now we have a series of biographies. And we know Stone Cold wasn't a hit piece. Roddy Piper wasn't a hit piece. Booker T is going to be this Sunday. Today, if you're listening on the day that it comes out. And last night or whatever the fuck. Depends when you listen. You got Booker T on the next one. You think that's going to be a hit piece? Think they're going to dig into, when he was of course they're going to cover his criminal record and all that. You think they're going to dwell on it? They're going to fucking tell that story, and they're going to tell it as a redemption story. All right? It's going to be the arc of how this man overcame adversity to be a legend in professional wrestling. They're not going to get into his dirt. They're going to spin any little dirt that he has, his little prison sentence fucking thingy that he did, and turn it into a positive just like he did in his real life. The only other one on this whole thing, maybe, plausibly, the Ultimate Warrior. Maybe they'll do the hit job there as well. But you got to think, they got this relationship with Warrior now. They got the Warrior Award that they're giving out at the fucking Hall of Fame. His wife, Dana Warrior, is part of it. She's some kind of fucking ambassador type gimmick with the WWE and the kids things and all that stuff. They're not just going to turn around and do the fucking self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior all over again. Not after they patched all that shit up. So if you are a thinking man, then you got to think Why? Why? Why would they do this? Why would they do Randy dirty like that? Well, on the surface, you could look at it as Vince loved Randy. Vince was attached to Randy. Vince counted on Randy and considered him one of his strongest anchors to the WWF, but at the same time, he was looking to move forward to a younger generation. He wanted to kind of swipe all the 80s folks behind, and Savage was really pretty much the last holdover from the 80s. You know, you look at WrestleMania 9 was kind of the transition mania, I think, between the 80s generation and the new generation. And I think WrestleMania 10 was kind of the start of the new generation. And Randy was there, and he was wrestling Crush, who, you know, had a run all the way through the Attitude Era. So, and of course, Randy had his run in WCW, but we're talking WWF here. It was a new generation. Randy was the last holdover, and Vince just kind of wanted to slide him out. And Randy didn't want to do that. It wasn't about it. He had gas left in the tank. And by all accounts, he really did. You know, he was healthy, rarely injured. He could go. So Randy just left. That was before there were 90-day no competes and all that other shit. Randy was done, and he showed up in WCW right after. That was a gut blow to Vince. You could take it a step further because, you know, guys have come and gone in WWF before, and Vince hasn't held that kind of a grudge. But you could take it a step further and look at the Slim Jim deal. According to, was it this biography, $750,000? Is that, did Bischoff say it here? If not, it's been said somewhere, and that's basically what Randy was signed for to WCW. So, according to Eric, Slim Jim paid for Randy, so it didn't cost him anything. But that was WWE's money. They were making that Slim Jim money, snapping to a Slim Jim, and Randy just gets up and walks away. And Slim Jim follows him because it's fucking Randy Macho Man Savage. We don't want Bam Bam Bigelow being our fucking guy. That's ridiculous. I mean, Bam Bam's cool and all, but he's not Mach. As a company, we want Mach to represent our brand. We like that. And that also made Randy a household name because he was on all those commercials. If nobody knew anything else, they knew Snap into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. Dig it. Everybody knew that. Your mom, your grandma saw that commercial. She knows Macho Man. Just go ask her. Ain't that wrestler guy? Yes, Grandma. Yes, the wrestler guy. So you could see him having heat with the WWE over that. But as we'll get to later, we just heard the story of Jeff Jarrett sticking Vince up. He walked out of WWE twice and still came back to be in the Hall of Fame while he was alive and still came back to be a backstage producer. So why didn't Randy, the biggest star of the entire 80s, bar none except for Hulk Hogan, not get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? There was a whole 10-year window from when WCW closed to when Macho Man passed away, where they were doing Hall of Fames left and right, baby. Hulk Hogan went in what, 2004? 2005? That's the year that Piper and Hogan and all those fuckers went in? You're telling me that over the course of the next 5 or 6 years, you couldn't find a place to squeeze the Macho Man Randy Savage in? It had to be after he died. And long after he died, not even the year after he died. It was several more years after that. Eddie got inducted because he had died the year before, and it was to honor him. You couldn't do that to Mach? Where's the heat, brother? I know people get thumbs up their asses about conspiracy theories. People who are conspiracy theorists tend to believe everything and tend to fucking take it and run with it to the nth degree where it gets fucking annoying and, bro, you're stupid. At the same time, there's people out there that, no, that's stupid. There could never be any kind of conspiracy. Anybody who thinks that there's anything kind of blah, 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 they're fucking stupid. Those people don't think. Because if you think, then you should know that it's at least fucking plausible, if not outright obvious. I mean, come on here. We're all wrestling fans. We've all been around the fucking business as long as we have, watching it, watching videos, listening to podcasts, reading books. We know how this works, okay? As fans, they call us smart fans, smart marks, because we're educated to what's going on here, people. And any one of us that are educated here should then have brain enough to go, something's fishy here. Not just with the biography, that's one. Compare it now. You could say conspiracy theorist in itself. Why are you just, it's just, he did that stuff. It happened, so it's in his biography. Why are you hating? Because it's not in the other people's biographies, and it's not going to be in Booker T's, I promise you. So, let's bring this back here now. Why he wasn't inducted in the Hall of Fame while he was alive. He wasn't even inducted immediately after he died. Why? Where's the heat there, brother? Is it over Slim Jim? You can't, because, okay, let's think now. We're smart, right? We're thinking about things. We could tell ourselves, yeah, I mean, Randy left. He took the Slim Jim deal. Of course, Vince was mad. We just heard, and I'll cover it later on the podcast. I'm going to say it again, because it's not getting through to some of you. Jeff Jarrett fucking walked out on Vince twice and stuck him up for money one of those times. And that's not even the worst anybody's done, and still came back to the WWE. Ultimate Warrior has sued WWE numerous times. Numerous. Jesse the Body Ventura has sued Vince McMahon numerous times. Hulk Hogan goes out and drops N-bombs. Hard N-bombs. Multiple times. With no shame. And never really even properly apologized for it. So you know he doesn't give a shit. He's just trying to cover his own ass, save face. And he's invited back. But Macho Man, just because he wanted to keep wrestling when Vince told him that he couldn't, and he took the Slim Jim deal with him, probably not even on purpose. He just left, and Slim Jim's like, no, we want that guy as our mascot, not this guy. We don't care what company he works for. We like him. So then what? What would that heat be? Huh? My conspiracy theorist friends. What does this bring us to? Where does this leave us? Well, obviously there's heat somewhere. Obviously there's an agenda against the Macho Man that comes from the very fucking top. Vince, what's the heat about? Is it about Stephanie? Now, I don't want to be that guy that's just out here propagating and being like, yeah, man, you know, trying to spread this whole fucking thing that Macho banged an underage Stephanie McMahon before he left WWE. I don't know how that's even plausible. I look at this and I'm weirded out by it in a number of ways. Stephanie's underage. Macho's an old man that's balding. Who knows? I mean, he was able to pull Gorgeous George when she was in her early 20s from a strip club. But who knows how these things work? I don't know. But maybe he has a huge Batista cock. We don't know. Point is, there is major fucking heat on Macho Man Randy Savage. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who says what, who's he what's it. The evidence is there for you, sir. I lay it out for you. Biggest star of the 80s next to Hogan. Never even mentioned for a fucking Hall of Fame till well after he died. Documentary buries Macho Man Randy Savage amongst the documentaries of fluff pieces. A bunch of fluffy, happy, flowery, this man is a legend pieces. This man's a legend. This man's a legend. Not that guy. He's a scumbag. This man's a legend. I'm telling you guys, something's there. Something's there. I'm not saying he did fuck Stephanie. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not trying to propagate propaganda. What I am trying to say is that there's something fucking there, And honestly, just sit and think about it. I've laid the case out for you. If you don't feel that there's got to be something there other than just the way that Randy left the company, I don't know. I could go on and on about this, but this documentary, again, absolutely worth a watch. A lot of it was very good, very well done, but it is glaring the things that they gloss over and the things that they spend an obscene amount of time on. Other than that, worth a watch. Go check it out. The A&E Biography, and Booker T's is out officially tonight. If you're listening to this as it debuts or anytime after that, it's probably already aired. Keep checking it out. I'm going to keep covering it. Life is good as a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.